Hi dear students, welcome to the next major topic from laws of motion. I can say this is not as like exactly from laws of motion, sir, but there are some applications are coming in laws of motion, sir. Of course, in an NCERT textbook, the last topic which is called banking of a road. Okay, so we need to learn before we are going to banking of road and some other concept like impulse and momentum, that we will learn it little later. So before we are going to banking of road, we should know about a concept called circular motion. So now we are going to learn about circular motion in very detailed way, then we will jump into banking of road. Otherwise you will not get a real concept if you are directly jumping into banking of road. That's what I want to teach you, something related to circular motion. So our today's topic is circular motions. So please write down the heading called circular motion. Circular motion. Okay, what is called a circular motion? Because we know our fan is running in a circle fashions. Suppose you have a string and at the end of a string you have a ball or a bob will be there and you are keep on rotating like this one. So this is also an example of a circular motion. So there are different things which are related with a circular motion, sir. So we are going to analyze the parameters related with circular motions. Okay, there are different parameters will be here. So let's start with the first parameter. The first parameter is called angular displacement. You can write the subheading called angular displacement. Angular displacement. Angular displacement represented using theta. What is called angular displacement? Look into the board. Suppose I have a string, I am holding the string and I have a bob will be here, this bob, and I am just rotating the bob few angle away. Now the bob will be here. I rotate it like this from here to here. Now the bob position is away. Okay, and the distance from this A to the position B, the linear distance, this curved length is called S, and the angle in which it is rotated is called theta. Okay, now this theta is called angular displacement. Suppose if I have rotated, if I have a string, I started from here and rotated like this. So started from here and rotated like this. So there is a 30 degree from, see, you can see this is my center of my knee. Okay, so what I am going to do means I am going to rotate it. So you can consider the same diagram will be here and I am rotating like this. So how much degree it is turned, that amount of degree is called, that amount of angle is called, or amount of degree is called angular displacement, that is also known as theta. Okay, so the angle at which the body is rotated. So we can define the heading angle at which the body is rotated. In a very short way, the body is rotated is called angular displacement. This is the first definition. And the second definition is the unit of angular displacement. Unit of theta, unit of angular displacement is called, the standard SI unit is called radian. And its dimension, so I can say it's a dimensionless quantity. So there are very rare quantity in physics which has the unit but which has no dimension. Okay, so theta, its standard unit system in international SI unit is called radian and it is a dimensionless quantity. All these points are important. This will ask for the NEET and JEE examination. Which of the following statement is true? Angular displacement is a unitless quantity. Right statement or wrong statement? Wrong statement. It has unit. It's a unit quantity but a dimensionless quantity. Okay, so it has no dimension, which means its dimension is m power 0, L power 0, T power 0. So it's a dimensionless quantity. At the same time, it has a unit which is called radian. This is the angle at which the body is rotated. S is called the linear displacement. Okay, S is called linear displacement. Linear displacement means the straight length. That is called linear displacement. What is the relations between S and theta? That is our next subheading under this. Relation between S and theta. A relation between S and theta. What is S and what is theta? We have a basic mathematical formula in mathematics which is called angle equal to arc length divided by radius. Correct. In small class onwards we have learned this formula. Angle equal to arc length by radius. What is angle will be here? Angle is called theta. Arc length is called S. S is called arc length. This is called arc. A portion of a circle is called arc. So arc divided by its radius. Suppose I am assuming the radius is equal to r. Radius is not changing for in a perfect circle. So radius is r. So the relations between S, theta and r and S and theta is this one. In short, I can written as S will be equal to r theta. Remember this. This is a relations between S and theta. Next point is whether theta is a scalar quantity or a vector quantity. I measured theta from here, right? Theta from here. If it is rotated this much degree, then I will say this much degree. So theta is a vector quantity. So I will add one more point will be here. Theta is a vector quantity. Theta is not a scalar quantity. Okay, theta is a vector quantity. Of course, if it is if I have specified a word called vector, you could ask what is the direction of the theta. Direction of theta is always along the axis. I'll tell you how to find the direction of theta. That is the next topic. Next is subheading. Okay, how to find direction of theta. This is our next subheading under this. So angular displacement. So this is the first subheading and this is second subheading. I told theta is a vector quantity. How to find out? To use that, we will use right hand thumb rule. So we will use to find the direction. That rule is called right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule. This is important. What is right hand thumb rule is very simple. You have to take your right hand, you place it will be here like this. In what direction it is rotating? In this direction. So for that direction, your four fingers, all the four fingers, you will rotate like this one. So you can see your thumb is coming outside. This I can say axis. So thumb is along the axis. So theta is along what direction? Along the axis but towards outside. In another way, if a body is rotated from A to C like this, for example, then you have to hold your four fingers, you have to rotate in that way. See, I am rotating from A to C. A will be here in the straight line with my fingers and I am rotating C. Where my thumb is going inside. So theta is always along the axis. Either it is outside towards you or it is inside. Anything is possible. Okay, it is like this. It's like this. So keep it like this. From A to B means thumb is pointing outside. So the direction of theta is towards you. If the body is rotating in A to C in this direction, this is actually an anti-clockwise direction. If it is rotating like this one, then I will keep my four fingers are folding in the same direction. My thumb is going inside. So the direction of theta is inside in that case. That is called right hand thumb rule. So in short, I can say direction of theta is always along the axis. Along the axis means either it is inside or it is outside. That I don't know. That you have to use right hand thumb rule. But one thing I can say, it is always towards the center. If it is always towards the center, then I can say that position is called along the axis. So along the axis there are two possibilities are there, or either it is into or it is out. Okay, so my statement is pakka correct. How to find the direction of theta? Direction of theta can be found using the right hand thumb rule. Direction of theta is always along the axis if you are using right hand thumb rule, because in entire physics from first year to second year last you will learn about lots of right hand thumb rule, left hand rule, left hand thumb rule, so many things you will learn about. But do not get confused. This is a first rule you are learning from now, and here onwards you will come across lots of rules. But you should have an idea like what purpose to find what I am using what thumb rule. Either it's a right hand thumb rule, left hand rule, Fleming's left hand rule, so many things you will come across. But then and there understand and then go to the next topic. So hope you understood it. So right hand thumb rule, direction of theta is always along the axis, either it is into the board or out of the board. In your case, either into the paper or out of the paper. So two things will be there. So who is giving the direction of theta? The direction of theta is given by thumb. Okay, direction of the theta is given by thumb. So we will write the definition of right hand thumb rule. So I'll use this space. Okay, we'll write the direction of the right hand thumb rule. We will specify what is the right hand thumb rule. We can add one point under this right hand thumb rule states that right hand thumb rule states that what is the right hand thumb rule states that four fingers folding in the direction of motion then the thumb pointing either into or out of the paper. In your case I am writing into or out of the paper. That is the direction of theta, which means angular displacement. Right hand thumb rule states that your four fingers folding in the direction of motion, then the thumb is pointing either into or out of the paper, then that will give the direction of angular displacement. So hope you understood the concept from here. Okay, so we learned about the first term, which is called angular displacement. Let's move to the next term in this chapter. Okay, so actually your angular displacement is same as your linear displacement. In one dimensional motions you will learn about S is equal to ut plus half at square, v square equal to u square plus 2as. There are s's coming. That s's actually will be here. That is called linear displacement. Corresponding to linear displacement in circular motion, it is called angular displacement, which is called theta. So this is done. We'll move to the next topic. And the next topic is called angular velocity. Angular, which is representing by using a letter called omega. So again, first I have to define, like linear velocity. So let's start with the linear velocity. In one dimensional motion you have learnt about linear velocity. Linear velocity is representing by v. We will write v is equal to ds by dt, right? We will write v is equal to ds by dt. Rate of change of displacement, here you will use differentiation, ds, or also you have seen like delta s by delta t. Both are same. Whenever you see delta means difference. That in maths it is representing using differentiation, ds by dt. D means differentiation, delta means difference. Okay, so same way here we call it as angular velocity. So angular velocity is representing as omega, and which is equal to, instead of s, what will come? You know now, right? Theta. So d theta by dt. This is the representation of angular velocity. Okay. So we need to, so we know what is called angular velocity and what is the unit of this one. Unit of omega. Unit of omega means what? What is the unit of theta? Radian. What is the unit of time? Seconds. So unit of omega is radian, rad divided by second, rad by s. Okay, theta is its unit is called radian. I told just 5 minutes before. So T is called second. So unit is radian per second. It's clear, right? Radian per second. Next one. So this over, this over. Okay. Omega is a scalar quantity or a vector quantity? Omega is a vector quantity as like theta. Vector quantity as like theta. So how to find the direction of omega? Direction of omega is same as like direction of theta, because this is time. Time is a scalar quantity. Time has no direction. So what is the direction of theta? That the same direction will come for omega. So that also we can find out using right hand thumb rule. So right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule. Used to find out what? Used to find out direction of omega. So direction of omega can be direction of omega can find out using omega, and direction of theta, direction of omega can be found out using right hand thumb rule. Same way direction of theta is also can be used to find out using right hand thumb rule. So omega and theta same, because omega and the direction is same as the direction of theta. How to find the direction of theta? Right hand rule. So how to find the direction of omega? Right hand rule, because time has no dependency. Time is independent. Okay, move to the next subheading under this. Relation between here, just I want to clarify one more point to you. Right hand thumb rule is used to find out the direction of omega, means how you are finding the direction of theta, because your four fingers are rotating in the direction of motion and your thumb is pointing the direction of theta. The same way will be here also. If your body is rotated like this one, then your fingers are rotating like this. Then your thumb is giving the direction of theta. That is same as the thumb is giving the direction of omega. Both are same, not confused. Relations between, there we have find S and theta. Here we are going to find out V and omega, that are identical, right? Relations between V and omega. How to find out the relations between V and omega? S is a linear displacement. S is a linear displacement. Omega is an theta is an angular displacement. V is a linear velocity. Omega is angular velocity. We are going to find out the relations. What is omega? Omega is equal to d theta divided by dt. So d divided by dt of what is theta? Theta in the definitions we already learned, right? S will be equal to r theta. This relations we know. We are substitute. So theta will be equal to what will come? S by r. S by r. So radius is always constant for a circular motion. So 1 by r and ds by dt. So omega will be equal to 1 by r into what is called ds by dt. ds by dt is called velocity. So v. So v by r, I can say v is equal to r omega. This is also important. V is equal to r omega. This is important. Okay, so we have done a small derivations for omega, and V is equal to r omega is the relation connecting between linear velocity and angular velocity. We know omega is a vector quantity, r is a vector quantity, V is a vector quantity. R means a radial vector. Radial vector means radius in the directions from center to that point, right? So listen here. So this is called an r vector. This is called an r vector. This is called an r vector. So every point in the direction of radius is changing. So that is called a radial vector. So here all the quantities are a vector quantity. So we have to represent a relation between V and omega in vector form. So that is our next heading. Okay, relations between, we know velocity is a vector quantity, rate of change of displacement. Omega is a vector quantity. Right hand thumb rule is used to find out that. So now we will see what is the relations between. Next one, vector form. Vector form of V, omega and R. This is very important. This is very important, very highly important one. Vector form, vector V equal to, this is very important. I am saying it's very important. V is equal to omega cross R. This is very important, very important. Okay, so remember this always. It is not R cross omega, V equal to omega cross R. This is highly important. Either you are going to write NEET or you are going to write JEE. Both examination, this is highly important. V is equal to omega cross R. Okay, so how to find out omega cross R? You are cross multiplying two vectors. So how you will do? You will take the modulus and you will solve that one. Okay, so relation is important. R cross omega is not same as omega cross R. Both are different. Omega cross R is equal to minus of R cross omega. So this is a relation. It is not R cross omega. Very important. Okay. So perfect. So now we have learned about omega. Now we have learned about theta. So two parameters we have learned, and we are going to learn the next parameter, next third parameter, and which is called accelerations. What accelerations? We are going to learn about different things again the next term. So write down the next term. Next term, so angular displacement, angular velocity. So of course next one, there are some steps will be. As I told before, we are going to learn about the third parameter, and which is called, okay, the next heading. Okay, anyway, not writing like 1, 2, we will write the next heading, which is called tangential acceleration. Which is called tangential acceleration. Tangential acceleration. Next term, which is representing using AT. So listen, in a circular motion, sir, I have a string which is connected here, and at the end of here bob will be here. So at each and every positions of the bob, let me take different position. Here it has one velocity V. Here it has a different velocity. Value will be changes. Here it is 5 meter per second. Maybe here it is V dash 10 meter per second or 2 meter per second. Any other value. Value is changing. V double dash. V triple dash. 4 dash. V triple dash. So at every point the magnitude is changing. Value is changing. Then there exists an acceleration. So here an tangential acceleration is in this direction AT. Here tangential acceleration is in this direction AT. Here tangential acceleration is same direction AT. Here it is also AT. So what is called AT means, okay, so we will write in a circular motion. So in a circular motion, in a circular motion, so if the magnitude of, in a circular motion, if the magnitude of the velocity changes, then there exists an acceleration. Okay, that is called what acceleration? There exists an acceleration, and that acceleration is called tangential acceleration. There exists an acceleration, and which is called tangential acceleration. There exists an acceleration and which is called tangential accelerations AT. AT is equal to dv divided by dt. AT is equal to dv by dt. Here we are taking, I told, circular motion, magnitude of the velocity changes. So to represent the magnitude, I am not taking direction, I am placing mode v. This modulus sign we cannot place it everywhere, wherever you want. It has some specifications, some demands are there. So based on the demands only these things are doing. Okay, so here dv by dt for v alone. Listen to the notation very carefully. For v alone, I have placed the magnitude sign because the magnitude is changes. If magnitude is not changing, then what will happen to AT? AT will be equal to 0. So I can say, in short, if v is constant, constant speed it is rotating, then I can say acceleration, tangential acceleration is equal to 0. If v is constant means differentiation of a constant, differentiation of a number is 0. For example, I am taking dv by dt. If v is equal to a constant means 2 meter per second. What is d by dt of 2? Differentiation of a number, a constant, is equal to 0. Of course, already you know. So AT is equal to 0 when v is constant. So remember this term, tangential acceleration is acting along the direction of the velocity. Whenever the velocity magnitude v dash, v double dash, v triple dash magnitude changes, then an acceleration is exists and that acceleration is called tangential acceleration. Okay, hope it is clear to you. So we are moving to the next term. So now we are clear about the tangential accelerations. Okay. Okay, fine. So we are moving to the next term, which is called the centripetal acceleration. The next term, centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration notated AC. Centripetal accelerations. This is also simple. Here the difference is like your velocity is not changing. Every point if you take, velocity is not changing. Velocity is constant. Then there exists an acceleration at this point. There exists an acceleration towards the center, which is called AC. There exists an acceleration at this point towards the center, AC. There exists an acceleration towards the center, AC. There exists an acceleration towards the center, AC. So the centripetal acceleration is exist whenever it is moving with a constant speed. But what is changing will be here. Velocity is a vector quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity means it has both magnitude and direction. But I can say magnitude is constant. But what is changing? Direction is changing. So while we are calculating in case of AT, tangential accelerations, I have written d modulus of v divided by dt. Modulus of v means I don't want to take care about directions. Directions may be any direction. Modulus v means I only need your value. If that value is not constant, you have tangential acceleration. So this is don't mind about what called direction of v. It's not mind about direction of v. But in case of centripetal acceleration, the centripetal acceleration equations with respect to v is called v square by r. R is called the radius. Okay, so when you can use centripetal acceleration can be used in a circular motion where magnitude of v is constant. Magnitude of v is constant, but what is changing? Direction of v is changing. So but direction of v is changing. If the direction of v is changing, then we will exist something called v square by R, that is called centripetal acceleration. This is the tangential acceleration. This is what we discussed previously. Now we are at centripetal acceleration v square by r. Alternate expressions, we know v is equal to r omega in magnitude format. Vector format is what? Omega cross r. So AC will be equal to r square, omega square divided by r and r will get cancelled. So you will get AC is equal to r omega square. This is also an important relations for AC. AC is equal to r omega square. Okay. And AC is equal to v square by r. Okay. Okay. Then AC we know, AT we know. Whenever a magnitude of velocity changes, we call it as tangential acceleration. Whenever the direction of velocity is changing. In case of tangential accelerations, while we are taking in a circular motion, remember one thing, in circular motion. So this is an important point. In circular motion, this is an important point. In circular motion, this is an important point. Direction of V always changes. Direction of V always changes. But direction of V is always changes. But what will happen? But magnitude of V may changes, may or may not changes. Two cases will be here, right? This is important. This is an important point for me. In circular motion, the magnitude of velocity may or may not changes, but always the direction of V is changes. Whenever the direction of V changes, definitely centripetal acceleration is definitely there. So centripetal acceleration in a circular motion, whenever velocity direction is changes, centripetal acceleration is exists. When magnitude of the velocity is constant, what is 0? AT is equal to 0. D modulus V divided by dt. So this is important. AT and AC. We are going to learn about the next term. Okay. The next representation. Okay. So hope it is clear to you. This all are important. Entrance examinations point, all this important. Board examination point, you don't want to dig into this much into the topic, but yeah, but board examination point, it is important. Next one, net acceleration. Net acceleration. This is called A net. A net, you know, in a circular motions, we have two accelerations will be here. This is called tangential acceleration and this is called AC. So always AC and AT are perpendicular to each other. So always AT and AC are perpendicular to each other. So how to find? So AC is a vector quantity, AT is also a vector quantity. I need to find out the resultant of two vector. So A net will be equal to, before we are going to A net, I will say resultant of two vector we are finding using the formula A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Theta is the angle between A and B. So we will write theta is the angle between A and B. These two vectors angle, that is called theta. So here resultant means total acceleration, A net acceleration is equal to root of AC square plus AT square plus 2 into AC AT. Angle between AC and AT is 90 degree. So this is 90 cos 90, right? What is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. Cos 90 is 0. So I can say A net is equal to root of AC square plus AT square. A net equal to AC square plus AT square, and that is called the net accelerations. It's a very simple way we are actually finding the resultant. So how the resultant acceleration is in this direction, A net. It is always towards the bisector. Bisector means these vector and these vectors are joining. So bi means 2. So sector means 2 vector where it is joining and it is passing through this one. And from here it is 45 degree, from here it is 45 degree, and it is exactly passes through the middle of these 2 vectors, and that is called A net, AC square plus AT square. Okay. So net acceleration is equal to root of AC square plus AT square. So we are moving to the next term. Next is called what? Of course you know, right? Next term is called, so net acceleration, tangential acceleration, centripetal acceleration. Next one, final term, angular acceleration. Angular acceleration, representing using a letter called alpha. Alpha is equal to, I have written omega is equal to d theta by dt. This is corresponding to V is equal to ds by dt. So correspondingly, I am writing alpha is equal to velocity, rate of change of angular velocity, d omega by dt. This is called angular acceleration. Rate of change of angular velocity is called alpha. And what is the unit of alpha? Unit of alpha means, what is the unit of omega? The unit of omega, it is radian per second divided by time again second. So second and second. So total it is radian per second square. In case of linear motions, we know acceleration is equal to dv by dt. We'll write velocity. This is meter per second and this is second. So the unit is meter per second square. So same thing. If you can give a correlation or a connections between these two. Instead of meter, radian. There it is linear distance or linear displacement. Here it is not linear, angular. So radian by second square. That's radian per second square. Next, an important relation. Relation between, this is important. Again, it's important. AT and alpha. Relations between AT and alpha. Relations between AT and alpha. This is important. AT is equal to R alpha. Remember always these formulas. AT is equal to R alpha, radius into alpha. Okay. We also have written previously V is equal to what? R omega. This is another relation that we already discussed, already we have seen. So I just written for V and omega. See, V and omega connected with called what? R. AT, linear acceleration, tangential acceleration, centripetal acceleration is a specific kind of acceleration only exists for circular motion. Tangential acceleration is exists for a circular motion, but tangential acceleration is more or less equal to linear acceleration. Linear accelerations. AT is equal to R alpha. V is equal to, see, V is linear motion, omega is circular motion. A is linear motion, alpha is circular motion. So a linear quantity is equal to R times of circular quantity. In these two equations I am speaking. With respect to these two equations, not in a generic way. Similarly, we have seen S is equal to R theta. See, everywhere there is a beauty in these equations, right? What is there extra? R here, R here, R here. These are linear quantity. S is called displacement. S equal to R theta. R into angular displacement. V is called linear velocity. R into angular velocity. V is equal to R omega. AT, acceleration. Specifically tangential, not centripetal. Centripetal is wrong. Wrong answer. So AT is equal to R into what acceleration? Circular motion acceleration. That is called alpha. AT, AC are the acceleration components. Alpha is called angular acceleration. Angular means angle, how much it is, speed is increasing like a fan if you are turning the regulators. angular speed, it's keep on increases if you turn the regulator, same way. So see the beauty, S is equal to R theta, V is equal to R omega, A is equal to R alpha. So left side linear quantity, right side circular motion quantity, everything is connected with R. This is just a shortcut I am saying to remember, because in the entire phases we will learn about a lot of formulas. At the end of the day, just before the examinations, you have to remember all this formula, else it's difficult to write the examinations. Okay, so of course all the formulas should be there in your mind. Of course it should be there based on your practice, based on your learning. Definitely it will be comes to your mind, but you have to practice it frequently. So angular accelerations we have learnt about this one. Okay, so now I will ask you certain set of questions to you. Okay, just one point, just one additional questions, I can say one important question. Okay, so I will write one question, or I will write a note. We will write a note, so that is important. So we'll write a note. If V is constant, if V is constant, V is constant means you have to understand if V is constant in a circular motion. In a circular motion, what this is indicated to us? If velocity is constant in a circular motion means in a circular motion definitely direction is not constant, because direction is keep on changing everywhere. But what is constant? If you get a statement like this, if V is a constant in circular motion means you have to remember this point, magnitude is constant. This is the indication from this one in short. But direction definitely changes. Direction definitely changes because it's a circular motion. Circular motion velocity is not constant. If somebody will be say velocity is constant, then you have to remember magnitude constant. But yeah, magnitude is constant, but direction is not constant. Okay, what is AC? AC is equal to V square by R. AC is equal to V square by R. What is AT? AT is equal to dV by dt. This is equal to 0. Okay. So we know AT is equal to R alpha. AT is equal to 0 means alpha is also equal to 0. Centripetal acceleration exists to V square by R. V square by R. AC is constant or AC is not constant? AC is not constant, because the velocity is changing with us. Velocity is changing, the direction it is changing means velocity changing here. So acceleration is constant. Acceleration is not constant. Here it is not constant, because this acceleration is a vector quantity. This is looking for direction only, direction. So everywhere direction is changing. So AC is also changing. Magnitude wise it's constant, but direction wise it's not constant. But AT is always 0, pakka 0, because it is not mind about what direction. It is only looking for magnitude. AT 0 means alpha is equal to 0. So remember this point. This is my final point for today. Okay, so we have learned theta, R, theta we learned about, V we learned about, omega we learned about, AT, AC, A net, alpha. All these terms are the fundamentals in circular motions. So based on that, we will move further forward and to learn the subtopics derived based on the concept from this one. Hope you understood today's sessions, and so we will wind up it for today. So understand this basic terms, so that then only the next topic onwards it will be easy. This is as such not a part of, you cannot see this topic as a part of laws of motion as such in NCERT textbook, but we must to know this topic before we are going to jump into the next subtopics in laws of motions. This is actually comes as a part of your 2D motion, but I have to take it here to have a thorough knowledge on this one. Hope you understood and enjoy your study and have a nice day. Thank you.